WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Today, the nation is mourning the loss of a pillar in politics. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Victoria Bailey. 41st President George H.W. Bush passed away last night at his home in Texas. Here in the Magnolia State, a family remembers when Bush visited Tupelo in 1987 to campaign for their father's run for Mississippi governor. Tupelo businessman Scott Reed says the then vice president thought his dad, Jack Reed Sr., had a good chance of winning the Republican nomination that year, and he says his father insisted on having the rally in their hometown of Tupelo.
And so he came in and flew in and stumped for Dad, and they really hit it off. It was surprising how well they liked each other, and so I mean, they didn't become best friends, but they stayed in touch after Vice President Bush left, and when he was president, they were still staying in touch, and President Bush asked him to chair one of his committees on education, and so Dad did that for a number of years, and so they got to communicate and stay in touch with each other for a long time, and it really did until the last couple of years of my dad's life. And Dad died a couple of years ago, and they're close to the same age, and just seem to be seem to have mutual admiration and like for each other.
Reed believes George H.W. Bush on paper was the most qualified man to be president, with a resume that included war hero and head of the CIA. He says Mr. Bush will dearly be missed. Well, the political world is also responding to the death of the president. He was 94 years old. Today, President Trump declared December 5th as a national day of mourning. Kim Hutcherson has a closer look at how the former president is being remembered on the national scale.
Remembering a towering figure in politics, condolences and remembrances are pouring in from around the globe, honoring President George H.W. Bush.
Read my lips. No new taxes.
The leader of the powerhouse Bush political family passed away Friday in his Houston home, where a memorial is now growing outside.
He had a good life, you know, but it's still sad. He was the first president I had ever voted for.
World leaders and politicians are sharing heartfelt memories of the World War II combat pilot.
He was the father, or one of the fathers of the German unification, and we will never forget that.
At the G20 summit in Argentina, President Trump announced he's attending Bush's memorial service in Washington, D.C., and praised the 41st president for his commitment to faith, family, and country.
He was a very fine man. I met him on numerous occasions. He was just a high-quality man who truly loved his family.
Granddaughter Jenna Bush Hager posting this picture on Instagram, writing, "I will miss him desperately, but so happy he and my grandmother are back together." Former President Barack Obama also remembering Bush's life and legacy, tweeting, "America has lost a patriot and humble servant." Former President Bill Clinton writing, "Hillary and I give thanks for his great long life of service, love, and friendship." There are also personal stories from those who worked in his administration.
He would always say, we're going to do this together. Here's what we're going to do as a nation.
I'm Kim Hutcherson reporting.
Now, the former president will lie in state at the U.S. Capitol this Monday at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., and a second memorial service will follow at St. Martin's Episcopal Church in Houston. Bush will be laid to rest at the George H.W. Bush Presidential Library in College Station in Texas. It's time now for a first look at our forecast. For that, we turn things over to meteorologist Jacob Riley. Hey, Jacob.
Hey there, Victoria. We did have some showers and storms earlier. Those have all pushed out of our area, thankfully. Right now, we're pretty clear out there, sitting in the lower 60s and upper 50s across the region. Here are those showers and storms I was telling you about. That cold front is continuing to pull through our area. Those showers and storms are pushed off, leaving us dry for the rest of tonight and tomorrow. That cold front sits about here across our area, and it will continue to pull to the east. And as we go throughout tomorrow, nothing but sunshine and 70s. But that's not going to last long. I'll let you know when the next cold spell moves in here in the show.
Thanks a lot, Jacob. Well, the Mississippi Highway Patrol responded to a late evening accident in Lowndes County. The accident happened just after 6 p.m. at the intersection of Highway 45 and Gateland Road. 2 cars were involved and traffic was backed up for about a quarter of a mile in the northbound lane of Highway 45. Now, the Mississippi Highway Patrol is investigating the cause of the accident. Well, a 3-car accident in Carrollton, Alabama. The wreck happened on Highway 86 near Glen Echo Road. Around 2:30 this afternoon, one of the cars involved landed in a ditch. The cause of the wreck is under investigation, and Carrollton police, Pickens County Sheriff's Department, and the Alabama State Troopers all responded to the scene. Well, Columbus police are investigating 2 overnight shootings that they believe are connected. The first incident happened last night at around 10:30 near the 1000 block of Shady Street. Columbus Police Chief Fred Shelton says an argument in the street led to one person being shot, and after shots rang out, the victim fled on foot and later collapsed several houses down from the injuries. Now, the victim was transported to Baptist Memorial Hospital in Columbus. CPD was then called to the 400 block of Summer Haven around 1:30 this morning. An argument led to one person suffering a gunshot wound. The victim was taken to Baptist Memorial Hospital. The victim's injuries are not believed to be life-threatening. Chief Shelton says the victims aren't cooperating with the police, and investigators say the suspects and victims in both cases knew each other. Anyone with information on these cases is encouraged to call Golden Triangle Crime Stoppers. Well, a car accident leads to the arrest of a man suspected in a fatal shooting in Lowndes County. The Lowndes County Sheriff's Department responded to a car accident early this morning on Lindbergh Road and Green Tree Drive. Upon arrival, deputies discovered the driver was suffering from a gunshot wound. Now, the driver was taken to Baptist Memorial Hospital, where he died from his injuries. Deputies then responded to a call about a domestic assault at the Green Tree Apartments in East Columbus. Investigating officers determined the call was related to the shooting and the accident in Columbus. Native Stevie Moody is under custody tonight. The investigation continues. Well, a community braves the weather to celebrate the holidays. We go to Holka after the break.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 with Victoria Bailey.
Welcome back, everyone. The town of Holka had its annual Christmas parade earlier this evening. Bentney Cowboy Church, His Grace Ministries, and Second Baptist Church of Holka, as well as a few others, all worked together to put the parade on. Our Cash Matlock stopped by the parade and has more on why residents of Holka love putting it on every year.
Residents of Holka were lined up along Main Street Saturday evening for their annual Christmas parade.
We were so excited to be here for the parade tonight. It was kind of short, but it was meaningful.
Members of the community say it's important for everyone to come together, especially this time of year.
Because it's Christmas time, and the community needs to come together. That's the time that everybody loves each other, and that's the spirit to bring everybody together.
I think it's a good thing to do every year, and it'll really help out the kids that won't candy.
And the community.
But there's another reason that makes this particular parade extra meaningful.
We're also having a dedication tonight from Miss Linda Smith. She was a wonderful teacher here for many, many, many years. We all loved her today as she just recently passed. So also this parade is dedicated to her tonight, and we're going to have a memorial for her.
And above all else, it seems the town of Holka wants to be remembered as a community that truly cares for one another.
We are a small community, but we know one another, we love one another, and we just enjoy being around each other and gathering around and just fellowshipping and enjoying one another.
In Holka.
And Holka is the hub of the universe. You can start from here and go anywhere.
Cash Matlock, WCBI News.
Well, the parade itself has been going on for years, but this year marked the second time the town had a Christmas tree lighting ceremony following the parade.
Well, luckily, the rain held off for the parade there in Holka today. It's going to hold off tomorrow as well. We'll actually get up to 70 degrees. Tomorrow's our last warm day for the next couple. I'll let you know when that cold weather moves in after the break.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Jacob Riley.
Well, good Saturday night. It is clear out there right now. We did have some rain showers and storms move through earlier. Those have all pushed out of our area for the most part. We have a little bit here left, but that cold front has pushed off to our east, and it will continue to do so overnight. Areas further to our north, though, here in Illinois, they saw a string of tornadoes up there today. Actually has some pretty substantial damage in the town of Taylorville, where they had their whole high school destroyed, so a lot of damage out there. Luckily, we were spared from that today, but we do have that last little bit of storms here near Huntsville that will continue to push off to the east throughout the evening and overnight hours, leaving us with clear conditions across the area, and that's going to last on through your Sunday as well, leaving us with some very nice weather tomorrow. But that cold front here's the tail end of it right now, pushing on through Lamar County there in Alabama. And again, that's just going to continue to progress off to the east as we go throughout tonight, taking those clouds and rain with it. And as we go throughout Sunday, not a cloud in the sky. Very nice days in store for us tomorrow. Highs approaching the 70s, but as we get on into Monday evening, the overnight hours, we'll have another cold front begin to dive south through our area, bringing with it the next chance of colder weather for our area. But until then, tomorrow is looking wonderful. Again, I cannot just emphasize how nice it's going to be. 70 degrees there in Amory, 70 in Houston. We're going to keep those rain chances at 0. Winds are going to be out of the south there in Carthage. We'll get up to 73 degrees. The southerly winds are going to be responsible for keeping us warmer tomorrow here in western Alabama as well, where you'll top out at 71 degrees there in Fayette. Now, as we go on throughout the week, we will be warm Sunday. Once again, that cold air begins to work its way in Monday, dropping our highs down into the 50s. And then Tuesday, we get all the way back down to the 40s once again. So winter is making its presence known once again. And then Wednesday morning, look at that, 28 degrees here in Columbus. So it's going to be very cold as we move on into the middle of next week. So that warmer air is gone. And now as we head on into next weekend, we're going to see our next weather system here begin to pull up through the Arklatex region, and it's going to bring some heavy rain with it as we get towards next weekend. Not looking like any severe weather as of now, but things could change, so we'll continue to watch that for you and let you know if anything does change. But that rain is expected to last through Sunday of next weekend before it pushes out, and it could bring us some pretty heavy rainfall. Before all is said and done with, we could pick up a couple of inches here across Mississippi and back towards the Arklatex, looking like maybe 5 inches of rain there. So some heavy rain is on the way for us, but before it gets here next weekend, we're going to top out at 70 degrees tomorrow. Beautiful weather. Get outside if you can at all and enjoy it while it lasts, because it's not going to last long. 47 for Tuesday, 46 Wednesday, with lows dropping back down below freezing.
The high school football season comes to a close this weekend in Hattiesburg. Find out which teams take home a trophy next in sports.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
It takes 15 weeks to make it to the state title game, but only hours to lose everything that a team has worked those countless weeks for. The stakes are high, but for the Louisville Wildcats, well, it's something that they were ready for. The final time that MC Miller runs, actually first, shout out to Carl Hogan Toyota for hooking us up with this beautiful car that was able to get us down to Hattiesburg. Make sure you go to Carl Hogan Toyota for all of your needs. But MC Miller running out with the Louisville Wildcats for the final time before a state championship on the line against Poplarville. The Hornets capitalize off a Louisville interception. Tyson Holton takes the reverse, races into the end zone to put Poplarville up to a 14-0 lead. Don't worry, though, Louisville, they're not going anywhere. Deontay Yarbrough rumbles here for a 20-yard gain. Be the best drive of the day for Louisville, but they'd get some more things going from there. They would end with 6 points. Yarbrough throws a dart to Marky Haynes for the touchdown. The extra point wouldn't be good, and they would trail 14-6 going into halftime. But they would come out right out of halftime, guns a-blazing. The Wildcats pounce. Kevon Jackson bounces outside. He's able to get right into the end zone there. They'd go for the 2-point conversion. It wouldn't end up being any good. They'd still trail Poplarville 22-12. And the Hornets would try to add to the lead. Olsen again, the wing T offense, burning the Cats on the ground. A 50-yard touchdown here. The man gets into the end zone for 6 more. The extra point ends up being blocked by the Wildcats. It'd be 20-12 for the Hornets. Louisville answering back. Jackson again follows the big boys up front, waltzing into the end zone for 6. 2018 going into the fourth quarter, and fourth quarter is where Louisville would come out and shine. Yarborough tosses a beauty here to Nysel Bayon Kirk for the touchdown. The first lead of the game for the Power Cats, and would be the only lead they would need. It'd be 25-20. Poplarville looking to get a final answer. Blaze Breerwood up the middle. Marcus Glenn ripping the ball out. Roncavius Johnson recovers, and that, folks, would seal the deal. MC Miller gets an ice bath as the game comes to an end. A great way for the coach to go out the final 25-20. Louisville wins the 4A state championship 25-20 over Poplarville, the 9th state championship in school history for the Wildcats, and Coach Miller goes out a champion.
It's still great here. When you know you think you know you're going out and you playing for the state championship, that's almost a miracle. That's almost a miracle. And then you win it too. Oh, man. It may make you worry now.
Would you say it's like a storybook?
It's like a storybook show. Yeah, I can tell a lot of stories about this one. You know, I'm a big talker anyway, but you know, I better not get started now.
Yeah, it finally hit me. With the sun shining on me, all my brothers smiling, and we poured water on Coach Miller. We finally got him. It hit me. I'm grateful. Thank God. I thank God.
The key word, what Coach was talking about, what they were saying at halftime, it was finish. You got to finish. Come out second half and finish. And stay with it and trust the process.
It means even more that at the beginning of the season, we said that we were going to take Coach Miller out with a bang, and we did it. We got the gold ball at the end.
But now it was time to see if West Point could come out and shine as they go for the three-peat. West Jones in the big game for the first time ever. After a West Jones field goal, Brandon Harris airs one to T.J. Anderson. A great catch by Anderson for the touchdown, and West Point would take the lead 7-3. On that very next possession, West Jones, the punt would get blocked by Ryan Melton, scooped up by Melton, and scored by Melton, and silences the 10,000 Mustang fans in attendance. Be 14-3 for West Point. Melton coming in clutch right there. It'd be 14-6 now in the second quarter. Brandon Harris sparks another drive. A 40-yard run for Harris has the Greenies just knocking on that door. And would they be able to do it? Well, you'll see. Fourth down, full on scrum. Jalen Eggerson somehow finding his way across the goal line for the touchdown there. It'd be 20-6 at halftime. And then it would be 20-12 in the second half. After a blocked punt, West Jones would be looking to score here. Ryan Melton with the big interception. Melton all over the Mustangs today. Denies the Mustangs there. And the Green Wave, well, you know that they're trying to turn that into some points, trying to capitalize on that big move, and they would be able to do it. Brandon Harris punching it in for the touchdown. It's your game MVP right there. It'd be back-to-back-to-back. West Point ends up winning the state championship for 5A there, the final 27-12. The Green Wave defeat West Jones, and the celebrations never get old for the green and white.
We always say, you know, we got a us against the world mentality to start with. We know our city embraces us, and our inner circle, we embrace each other, and we just want to keep things going. The expectations West Point are high. I mean, very high every year. It don't matter what kind of team you got, what talent level you got. These kids feel it, coaches feel it, and we just work hard all year long to accomplish a goal.
I want it bad for them boys. You know, just because not in my class, you know, I want everybody to experience this like Marcus Murphy and Chris Carver did. So we had to come out with a win.
You see what I said? Turn the hate to motivation. You feel me? That's how it is. We love the hate. It's just inspiration for us to go harder.
It's sweeter for me because this is my senior year. This is the way I wanted to go out with a bang, with a championship, man. But for as a squad completely, it's sweet because nobody but ourselves believe in each other. We knew what we was going to do, and we did it.
Well, that does it for the Mississippi State Football Championship, but how about Alabama and Georgia fighting out for the conference championship? I've got those highlights next in sports. Stick with us. It's a rematch of last year's national championship, but this time the victor claims the SEC. Number 1 Alabama going up against number 4 Georgia for the championship. Here, Tua Tagovailoa throwing one to the end zone, but it's intercepted by Richard LeCounte. And after that play, Tua would get sent to the medical tent. Reports of a left ankle injury, but he would still come back into the game. 0-all, Jake Fromm throws over the middle, connects with Isaac Nauta, and the 20-yard touchdown is for the Bulldogs there. It makes it 7-0 in the first quarter. The second quarter now, Georgia leading 14-7. On 3rd and 3, Fromm throws to DeAndre Swift, and Swift breaking a tackle, going in for the 11-yard TD. It's a 2-possession game now with the Bulldogs in the lead. Alabama would be on the ensuing drive. Josh Jacobs trying to score, fumbles the ball, and Georgia ends up with the recovery. The play would get reviewed, and the call would end up being Jacobs regained possession across the goal line before punching it loose, and it would be called a touchdown. Alabama working its way to get back within just one possession. The third quarter, Fromm throws to the end zone, and Riley Ridley makes a phenomenal catch. You can see on that slow-mo how good it was. The touchdown for Georgia to make it 28-14 for the Dogs. Still in the third, Alabama on offense. Tua throws down the middle, but the Bulldogs ready, and J.R. Reed makes the INT. Doesn't that just sound so good, J.R. Reed making the INT? After Georgia would go 3 and out, Tua would be back at it again. All over the middle to Jalen Waddle, who takes the ball upfield, passing by those Bulldogs. See you later, taking it into the end zone for 6 more. Would make it 28-21. Georgia still in the lead, but the fourth quarter, Tua back to pass, gets stepped on by his own lineman. He's going to go down. He had to get helped off the field. You can see kind of how his ankle twists right there. But how about this flip-flop from what we've seen before? Jalen Hurts comes into the game for Tagovailoa on this one. And Hurts, with some time, rolls out to his right and throws to Jerry Jeudy. And he just gets the touchdown easy, ties the game up at 28. And then Hurts would be on the QB draw after that, taking it 15 yards in for the touchdown. Alabama getting its first lead of the game. And Georgia just has one chance for romance after this. Fromm, he's going to throw a Hail Mary. We all knew it was coming. But would it be any good? They're going to try. He throws it up. It's not going to be good, gets knocked away. Alabama pulls off the crazy comeback, claims the SEC title 25-28, or 28-25. Alabama was the final there. That's going to be it for sports. We'll have the last look at your forecast coming up after the break. Stick with us.
Well, Victoria, Sunday is looking picture perfect, but Monday get a little bit colder, and then Tuesday and Wednesday those temperatures really drop into the upper 40s. The next weekend's looking a little wet.
Enjoy it while we can.
Yes.
Well, thanks a lot, Jacob. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you next time.